Hi, everyone. Welcome to Women to Women Wednesdays, where I, Pam, your host, I interview wonderful leaders in the commercial real estate industry. So today I'm super excited to have Suzanne Hollander as our guest today. She is a real estate attorney, a professor, a broker, and a women's investment advocate. The U.S. Department of State appointed Suzanne to its Fulbright Specialist Roster as an expert in real estate. So you guys know we're in good hands today. Suzanne teaches real estate law and development at Florida International University, where she's been teaching for over 10 years. So I'm excited to bring her on today because she's going to provide us with nuggets of wisdom of how to get started in this area and share her background and hopefully provide you with some career tips that you can utilize in your journey. And also, in addition, she authors a blog called ProfessorRealEstate.com. So you guys can go check out her blog as well after this. And in addition to her teaching role, she's also a director of professional development for FIU's university-wide Office to Advance Women, Diversity, and Equity. We're all about that right now. So with that in mind, thank you, Suzanne, for joining us today, and welcome.
Thank you, Pam. It's a real pleasure to be here, a real honor. Thank you so much.
First half is going to be business professional questions, and then we'll have some fun at the end, okay?
Super.
If you're just getting into your career or just starting off in commercial real estate, or even investing in commercial real estate, where do you recommend people start? What's the first stop?
I think it's a good question. And oftentimes people don't know the first step. So something that we just talked about in class, I spent 4 classes on mortgages. And I spend that amount of time on mortgages because I believe that private property is the way to build wealth, especially in the United States where we are. And I'm coming to you from Miami. So what we talked about in class is a way to get started is something called house hacking. It has a trendy name, and technically it's not commercial. So technically what it would be is buying a 4-unit or less property, and you could use one of the government-backed loans to purchase that. And it would qualify as residential, which would mean that you could put much less money down. And then you could live in one of the units and you could rent the other 3 out. Now, it doesn't have to be 4 units. It could be 3 units or 2 units. But the definition of residential real estate for the way that those loans work is it's 4 units or less. So what could actually happen is that you're living there, your 3 tenants are paying your mortgage.
Now, when did you decide to go into your all your roles? Because you're a professor, you're an attorney, you're a broker, you're all of the above. You're a superwoman. When did you decide that this was the area for you? Can you share your background with us?
Well, I started as a traditional real estate attorney. Miami is a real estate town. So what you see behind me is Miami Beach and the city of Miami. And it is a town that's really driven by real estate. So there's a lot of opportunities there. Everything that I do, I have a few different hats that I wear, but I think it gives me a complete view of the market. And everything that I do is real estate related. So as a broker or attorney, I can share those stories of what I have done. And they're not just stories, they're real life stories in the classroom with my students. So it's very applied.
Great. And what made you decide that like this was it for me?
One of the first things as an attorney that all attorneys read is the U.S. Constitution. And I believe in the U.S. Constitution and the private property protections that the 5th and 14th Amendments have and uphold. And especially for my students and for the people that we have in Miami, we're from all over the world. And many of the countries that we are from, property rights are not respected. So if you live somewhere where you have to be afraid that might makes right, or somebody could just come take your property, or it could be actually privatized by the government, or if you live somewhere where you couldn't even get title, you couldn't even prove that you own something, that is a really tough way to live. And it's a way that kind of shuts you out of the formal economy. So I learned those things along the way in Miami and through what I do as a professor and as an attorney. And it really made me dedicated to making people value their private property rights. Sometimes some of my students or some young people feel that they just want to be a renter. And they don't know that you don't have to have a graduate degree. You don't even have to graduate yet from college. You don't have to be a US citizen to buy a property or to get a mortgage. So what I do is I help them understand that. And that's for first generation students, for all my students, and especially for women. Women don't have to wait for those milestones to start investing in property and investing in themselves.
What are your top books that you recommend?
I have mentors that I owe a lot of my success to and that I love to share my success with. And they are both women and men. But one of the books that I recommend is written by a dear friend of mine who is a mentor, and his name is Ken Rosen. He was one of the first people to do condominium conversions, South Florida. So he would take apartment communities and turn them into condominiums. And he wrote a book called Investing in Income Properties, the Big Six Formula for Achieving Wealth in Real Estate. And I read it word by word with him, and we talked about the chapters, but I've also read it more than once. And I think it's a really great practical book written in plain English. This is not a legalese book that can help you get started in real estate. And I have it with me. And the other thing I have to say about real estate books, the Investing in Income Properties, I really like that book. But another book that I really like, and it's just to set a foundation of the importance of property rights, is The Mystery of Capital. And that's written by Hernando de Soto. I had the opportunity to meet him in Peru, and he's an internationally renowned economist who works for privatizing property rights, giving individuals property rights to have them join the formal economy.
Well, what 3 things did you do that helped you secure the position that you are in today? Can you share that?
I think some of the things that I did, they revolve around two decisions. And one was to take risk, and the second was to go outside of my comfort zone. So I started as in a corporate law firm, and it was like being in an ivory tower. So we would work on real estate deals, loan documents, but I wouldn't see the properties. So I took a risk, and I went to work for a family office. It was a family from Switzerland that had bought 3 large parcels in downtown Miami. And I was their corporate counsel and their project manager. We were cash funded. So when the downturn hit, we had entitlements to build about 2,000 units. And we had even started advertising in the New York Times. And when the downturn came, and that was the last time, like the Big Short era, 2008, 2009, we put all of our projects on hold. And then I stayed with them as their private counsel. Along that time, I met an investor who was interested in going to the foreclosure auctions. So I already had my feet on the street, right, with this, with my Swiss group, because we were in a part of Miami that's now very hot, but then was a little iffy, our properties. And I was interacting with the tenants. I was going to the properties, with the surveyor, all those types of things. And then I started going to the foreclosure auctions. And then because I had done these different things, I met someone, and he told me that I would be a really good professor. I said, a what? And he said, your experiences are very, very unique, and to bring them into the classroom and to share them would be would be good for the students, because it's not only learning from a textbook, it's learning from someone who's really seen these things. So those were the 3 risks I took to get out of the law firm and to go, get the feet on the street with a Swiss developer. They were sitting back in Switzerland and we were working in the office. Mm-hmm. Then to start working with the investor buying out of foreclosure, and also how to position the property. What happens when you get a foreclosure for an awesome deal and then you can resell it right away? What happens when what happens when there's a leak or all the utilities are ripped out and then you can't? So I got to see that firsthand, because that happened to us, the good and the bad. And then teaching. And some people, I think teaching is really interesting because you meet so many different people. I've been teaching 11 years now. So through that, you really get a perspective on the way real estate works, what makes US real estate so valuable compared to the rest of the world, and what works and doesn't work in different jurisdictions.
So I'm a firm believer of learning from mistakes. Is there like one mistake that you can share with us that kind of, when you first started out with your career, or the one thing you wish you'd done differently that you can share with our emerging leaders?
I wish I got my feet on the street faster.
Me too.
So I think the law background is important. I think a legal background can take you many places. But I remember looking outside the window of my office, which was downtown Brickell, and there was a parcel of land there that later 1,200 units were built on. And I was thinking, even when I was in law school, if I was thinking of buying, because I was in law school in Miami, I think that if I had realized that you don't have to already have graduated to start investing.
Great. Yes, that's a great tip right there. Thank you. Well, that includes concludes our professional questions. We're going to move on to the fun round with you.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Sure.
Okay, it's going to be quick questions coming from me. So what's your favorite color?
I like blue.
Favorite place?
I want to go to Latin America. So that's where I want to go next.
Favorite movie?
I like to watch telenovelas called The Road to Love. It's that you can find it on Netflix. And they have it. I watch in Spanish, but you can find it. If you put The Road to Love, you can find it on Netflix.
So favorite food?
I like Peruvian food, ceviche. So I'm waiting to have a ceviche in Lima.
Favorite drink?
I like lemonade, but made with limeade.
Favorite dessert?
Chocolate. Has to be chocolate.
Favorite holiday?
4th of July. I actually started my blog, Professor Real Estate, I think 10 years ago on 4th of July. So it was to celebrate financial independence.
Oh, that is very special. Very near and dear to your heart. And so creative. I love that. If you guys haven't checked out her blog yet, so check it out. Favorite hobby?
I love to travel.
Podcasts, audiobooks, or YouTube?
I probably do seminars.
Coffee or tea?
Cortadito or Cuban coffee.
What do you like to do in your spare time when you're not teaching and doing all the other fun things you're doing?
Right now, I really like to stay in touch with people. And that's something that makes me value my friends and my connections so much that I spent time with before the pandemic. So right now I try to make time every day to talk to, someone that I've met over the years. So
what new skills have you learned during the pandemic?
I've learned to cook.
What embarrassing thing have you done while Zooming?
Well, my dog has some commentary sometimes. So
what are you most proud of?
I'm very proud when a student will tell me something that I taught them helped them.
Well, any final words to all the emerging leaders out there listening in on this?
Yeah, I have a few. I really like quotes. So I think there's one from Warren Buffett that I think of, and it says, "Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." And I think it can be a metaphor for investing in yourself, for investing in the futures of others, whether you're trying to advance first generation students or women or that type of thing, and share your knowledge. So if someone heard something today that was interesting to them about, please, reach out to me. Feel free to do that.
What is the best way for them to reach out to you?
They can check out my blog, professorrealestate.com, or link in with me.
Wonderful. Or you guys can also leave a comment on our video description below. We'll also connect you with Suzanne. She's also one of my advisors on our webpage, letsgocreatewealth.com. So when you have a chance, go check it out. Go check out her blog. And until then, we'll interview another leader who's killing it in the industry. Take care, everyone.
Ciao, adios. Thank you.